does this remind me of? Who does this remind me of? Remember somebody else who had a lot of different stories about what happened to, in this case, her daughter, Casey Anthony? She said the nanny took Kaylee. She dropped her off at the Sawgrass Apartments, and that was the last time. Then she said, oh, no, the nanny kidnapped her from a park. And then ultimately she said little Kaylee drowned in the pool, and her father, George, discovered her. Unfortunately, John Lieberman, investigative reporter who also covered that case, an HLN contributor, that did not stop her from being acquitted, even though she told the same number of different stories as this defendant.
Well, that's right, Jane, but the difference in this case is there is a mountain of physical evidence in this case, including those pictures that were on a camera. Many of the pictures were in fact deleted, but they're all time-stamped. So at one point you have the victim alive in the pictures. At another point you have these two together in the pictures. And then at another point you have him dead in the picture, all time-stamped on the same day. All on the day when Jodi claimed at first that she didn't even see him. So that is damning evidence. You have the bloody handprint. You have hairs and fibers at the scene. You have all of these different stories. And to me, it feels like her attorneys right now are almost conceding guilt. They just want to make sure she doesn't get the death penalty. I'd love to hear what Joey has to say about that, because her attorneys have already filed a motion to basically have prosecutors leave out any evidence that would, show that she wasn't remorseful during this. But that only makes sense if they don't want her to get the death penalty. So it's almost like they're almost conceding right now that she will be found guilty. They just want to keep her off death row.
But please answer that question, Joey Jackson.
Well, here's the problem, Jane. The problem is that the attorneys are trying to what we call mitigate. If you raise a self-defense claim, the basic problem with that claim, Jane, is that the force used in self-defense has to be proportionate to the threat posed. What does that mean? It means if you find someone who stabbed 27 times, shot in the head, and cut neck to neck, that negates a claim. You can only use such force as to deaden the threat. And so now you have to concede, ultimately, that somebody went berserk.
All right, now, let me go to Shauna Hogan on that. You're a true crime author writing a book on this case. So how long did it take cops to track down Jodi Arias? Did she have any signs of a physical struggle on her?
By the time the cops found her, she did not show any signs of physical struggle, but people who saw her within a day of Travis's murder say that she had cuts in her hands and that her hands were bandaged up. She had also changed her hair from blonde to brown, which she had been wearing her hair blonde for quite some time, in a way to maybe hide her appearance.